Greetings! Welcome to another tutorial about Bloomreach XM with XIN mods. In this video, we're going to talk about extending the CMS with your own tools without customizing the CMS. Let's get into it. So one of the core things we want to do with XIN mods for Bloomreach is provide a set of tools that allows us to extend the CMS without having to customize the code base. So when we want to add functionality to the CMS, we prefer to look at external tools and how to integrate them rather than looking at the CMS itself and figure out how to extend it and customize it. One of the reasons for this is that when it comes to upgrading your CMS, oftentimes most of the problems you will encounter during your upgrade have to do with the customizations that you have applied to your CMS. And so if we can avoid it, that'd be great. So the solution that XIN mods offers in this case is a simple set of services that are exposed by default that allow you to integrate using JWT. It exposes two endpoints, a JWKS endpoint that describes the key that was used to sign the JWT, and an endpoint to claim a JWT based on the current authentication of the user that has logged into the CMS. So in this slide, you can see how that would work. So you have the CMS, it has those two endpoints. Your tool will communicate with the CMS to request JWT. Then when the frontend interacts with an API that you have built or any other backend services, it will pass the JWT that was procured from the CMS and check its signature using the public key described by the JWKS. And so that is what we're going to be looking at today, those two endpoints and how to configure them. So let's keep going. What I just want to highlight is that what we're talking about today has also been described in the documentation of the Hippo XIN mods repository. So if you go to GitHub, go to XIN Solutions, Hippo XIN mods repository, then under docs, jwtprovider.md, you can find what we will be talking about. Great. So I've already logged in. I'm admin in the console. So let's have a look at the JWKS endpoint. So if you go to /cms/webservices/jwks.json, you will see a single key that's been exposed. And these are the elements that describe how any other client could recreate the public key on their end, and thereby using it to check the signature of the JWT. Then the other endpoint that exists is this one, /cms/ws/jwt. And this endpoint requires one parameter, and this parameter is the description of the origin that is used for this particular request. So in here you can see that we try to get one for localhost on port 3000. And the reason for this is that when you request a JWT, the result should be decorated with course headers. And so this domain name will then be added to the course header so the browser allows the response to be processed. These URLs need to be whitelisted, and to do that we go into our console under Hippo configuration, modules, and then under XIN mods we can add a property called jwt.whitelist. This is going to be an array of strings, so like this. We say it's a multi-value, and let's give it a single value at the moment. There we go. So we'll save this. Very good. So you can see that it says invalid request source, but hopefully now that we added it, it will allow us to request one, and it does. So now, if we grab this JWT and we add it to the JWT.io just to have a look at what it contains. There we go. Now you can see that it exposes the username of the current user that's logged into the CMS, and if the user is part of any groups, there will be another claim in the payload called user groups, which is an array of all the groups they're part of. So this is a great way to make sure that in your external tools that you're trying to integrate, you're able to provide proper authorization based on these groups. So that's pretty cool. Now, one of the things you have to take care of is this key. By default, when you check out the Hippo XIN mods repository, you will always have the same key. So if you deploy this, other people might be able to figure out what key is required to build their own JWTs. And so to prevent that, when you deploy your own instance of the Hippo XIN mods, you need to make sure that you generate your own keys. And so in the repository, there is a script in the bin JWT folder called generate key. And when we invoke it with the JWT parameter, it actually creates a new key for us in the local folder. You see there's actually 4 files that have been generated. So what we then need to do is have a look at where currently these JWTs are being stored. And you can see here that they are under CMS in the resources folder and the keys. So if we go here, what we want to do is delete these files and copy across the files from that were generated by the script. So I go back to bin JWT, and then we move across these things to, let's move them to CMS. Where? Right, CMS. Very good. CMS source main resources keys. Great. There. Now here our new keys are. So when we then, if we restart the repository, restart the Bloomreach, we should get a different key. And this is very important before you do any deployments. So in short, that was how you are able to set up the Bloomreach to allow external tools to integrate with the CMS's authorized and authenticated users. Yeah. So, thanks for watching. If you like this kind of thing, check out the playlist that popped up on the screen. And if you want to be notified when a new tutorial appears, make sure to subscribe. See you next time.